Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. My name is Jessica Kapkar. I am the Communications Manager at BBB Serving Central Ohio. I hope everybody is doing well and staying safe. Thank you all for joining us today. I hope that this is something that I know it's going to be an outstanding presentation. I hope it's something that is helpful for you in this weird time. I do want to let you know that we are recording this webinar, so it will be available after we are finished here today. You can find it on our trustlocal.org page. That's TRUST local.org. And that is a resource for our community, for our businesses and consumers in Central Ohio. It's a one-stop shop for national and local resources. It's also got a spot for you to fill out a survey to let us know what you need. We're trying to make sure that we are providing as many resources and materials as we can in this kind of weird landscape that I think is going to be ever-changing in the next couple weeks and months. So that will be housed there. You can also find all of the other webinars that we've done with our various partners in the past couple of weeks there as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. If anybody has any questions, you can feel free to send them to me in the question bar. We're going to talk about marketing in a time of crisis with Betty Clark with CP Media. And forgive me, I think there's a little delay in the slides, so if it goes a little bit slowly, my apologies. And if you would like this slide deck after the fact, you can just reach out to Betty directly. Her contact information is on this slide, bclark@cpmedia.com. Her phone number is also there. I'll say that for you guys in case you need it. It is 614-717-4910. So if you, like I said, if you would like these slides after the fact, please just reach out to Betty. We're also going to send all of your questions directly to Betty, so she will be able to follow up with you if you have any questions after this webinar is over. It's going to be a great way for you guys to connect with each other. Betty is an outstanding addition to our BBB family and our Central Ohio community. She served as our board chair for the past 2 years and has been a board member with us for many years. She is the owner of CP Media and Marketing. She's got more than 40 years of experience as an advertising and marketing professional and 30 years of experience as a business owner. She's a certified small business consultant, so she really knows what small businesses are dealing with right now. She's managed some notable clients such as McDonald's, Ohio Health, and the Kroger Company. As I mentioned, she is our past chairman of our board of directors, and she also serves on the board of directors for the Dublin Convention and Visitors Bureau. And she was awarded the American Advertising Federation's Silver Medal Award for outstanding contributions to advertising, and is just a wonderful, wonderful human being. So we're glad to have her with us. And I am going to go ahead and turn it over to Betty.
Well, thanks, Jessica. What a wonderful introduction. Welcome, everyone. Before we get started, I would like to join Jessica in saying that I hope that you, your families, employees, and all your friends are healthy and safe. This is a really difficult time for all of us, but together we can get through this crisis. We put together this presentation for local businesses who are feeling a bit lost right now. We've been thinking of several things. I know that I have, like, how am I going to get through this? When the time is right, how will I ramp up my business? How will I know when the time is right? And how do I catch up on the weeks or the months that I've missed in revenues? And I'm certain that this is on everybody's mind. I need cash and I need it in the door now. What can I do? So in the next 20-30 minutes or so, we're going to be discussing some of these concerns and methods that will assist you in getting back up and running. And while it's easier said than done, I'd like for you to all take a deep breath. As I said before, we can get through this together. with all of us supporting one another. But first, let's take a moment and look at the past and the breakfast cereal industry. When the Great Depression hit in 1929, no one knew what was going to happen to consumer demand. Post cereal did the predictable thing, and they reined in their expenses and they cut back on all of their advertising. Kellogg, on the other hand, doubled its budget in radio advertising and heavily promoted their new cereal, Rice Krispies. And then by 1933, even when the economy cratered, Kellogg's profits had risen almost 30%, and it had become, and as it still remains today, the industry's dominant leader. So you could say that our current COVID-19 crisis situation is a perfect marketing storm. So for those of you who continue to advertise and market themselves, you can get more bang for your buck. In the latest Nielsen study, media usage has increased a little over 60% since February 1st of this year. In particular, local radio and television usage has gone up. So for those of you who continue to advertise, you're reaching a larger audience with far less clutter. You're able to steal market share. So the best advice I could give to you is to try to stay calm, stay the course, and use the increased media and engagement to your benefit. The fear will pass. The good news is that fortunately, a lot can change in 30 days. The bad news is, unfortunately, a lot can change in 30 days. So smart businesses know that the current crisis will pass and that laying the groundwork now to communicate effectively to customers and your employees will pay off in some big dividends at some point down the road. But how can we do this efficiently and effectively? The first step is to create a plan. As a marketer, you need to focus on 4 things. Make sure that all your programs, people, and technology are working well. If you don't have a handle on this already, now is definitely the time to make this happen. Even without the coronavirus, we'd still be heading into a new marketing environment come the end of this year. That's when Google and others are going to stop their support of third-party cookie tracking, and they're fundamentally going to change online advertising. Next, agility and flexibility are simply not enough. You must also add some creativity and innovation to your marketing mix. If possible, bring together a diverse group, perhaps some individuals that have marketing experience, sales, service. Together, review your business and marketing objectives and assess how well you can achieve them without the set of programs that you had in place and you've been forced to eliminate. Now look into that void and start brainstorming with your team on new ways to fill that gap. During your brainstorming session, look for some sparks that may trigger ideas. Create a list of possibilities for you to explore. You may need to conduct, a couple of customer interviews to flesh out the information that you're working with, but that's okay. Hopefully, after finishing these exercises, you'll come up with some new programs that will perhaps drive an even better performance for you. And embrace this challenge with enthusiasm. There's nothing that feels better than achieving and exceeding your objectives. And once you have your plan in place, you'll need to begin to prioritize. Look at what's currently running or in your pipeline if you are currently advertising. Consider what to pivot or prioritize and shift dollars if necessary. If you do have an advertising schedule in place and you haven't already done so, make sure that you contact your sales representative and ask for an adjustment to your rates. Right now, most of the media outlets are willing to reduce your costs between 25 and 50% for the months of April and May. And because they're receiving so many cancellations, they're willing to give you an additional, lots of additional commercials or print ads at no charge, which will give you even more frequency. As I mentioned earlier, the local TV viewership and the radio listenership are on the rise. Consumers have peaked out now on obtaining the COVID-19 information 24/7. They are just turning to their local stations for quick, up-to-date information that pertains directly to them. So, and then they're just staying on those stations. If you're running an outdoor billboard campaign, there's a lot of significant savings that can be found here. Obviously, with our current stay-at-home orders, people aren't out and about to see your message. So most outdoor companies are forgiving April and May charges for you. Plus, I don't want you to forget about those dollars that you had allocated to any home shows, trade shows, county fairs. Prioritize those events and reevaluate them. Even if they do take place, I would venture to guess that if they're going to be held within the next 4 months, attendance is sure to be down. Make sure those expenditures are a good investment and that you feel confident in their ROI. Our next step is to evaluate the language and imagery that you plan on using in your communication efforts. There's no question that the visual communication is a powerful tool, as well as the words that are used. It's crucial to think about what type of message your brand is conveying. You should look at things and consider making changes, like removing or avoid using visuals where people or crowds are touching, and perhaps reframe your marketing language that might describe a close interaction with others. Take some time, see what changes you can make that would be beneficial to the crisis at hand. And when you're considering your messaging to the consumer, be calm and confident. Don't try to capitalize on the crisis where the current top-of-mind climate is already fear and worry. While it's a good idea to keep people informed about how the crisis is affecting your business, you should do so without spreading any panic. Your customers will see your efforts during this difficult time, and in the long run, they will thank you. Right now, consumers are craving comfort and security. No matter your business, you have the ability to provide this to them. And so at some point, you're probably thinking to yourself, this stuff is all fine and good, but I need cash. And I need it now, and I need it 4 months from now. So the message step is also the area for you to work on bringing in some cash now. I'd like for you to think about what part of your business is most viable under these current circumstances. For example, with all the Zoom conference calls that have been taking place, instead of marketing suits, a local men's clothing store might consider a campaign that centers around looking sharp from the waist up and market shirts and ties. Or a motorcycle dealer's message might be that they offer social distancing at its best. Or a dermatology clinic might promote their virtual appointments. Also consider teaming up with another company, like a window washing company or cleaning service, and providing a clean and healthy environment for your home. Again, think outside of the box. So, and just like your employees, the method that you communicate to your customers is crucial. The same, these same rules apply to both employees and customers. Communicate clearly and often. Be honest and transparent. You should also take a hard look at your target audience. With the crisis situation that's happening right now, your audience may have changed. Are they still seeking the same benefits as they were before the crisis began? I would venture that they are not. And don't forget to review your competitive landscape and see what their positioning statements are. You should also rethink the way you plan on communicating to your customers. Should you rely on the use of just social media where you're reaching a small group of the same people? Or perhaps traditional media might be a better method where you have the ability to reach different people? Or should you use direct mail to reach those bored consumers who are willing to go through their mail right now for something different to do? Or perhaps digital advertising might be a better method. Remember, there's not a one-size-fits-all media out there. It's whatever works best for your marketing efforts. And finally, no one has a crystal ball and knows what is going to lie around the corner. But we can improve our chances of weathering this crisis. Whether it's created internally or externally, you need to have a plan in place. Because you hear so many people say when the stay-at-home orders are lifted, it's not going to be like turning on a light switch. It's going to take a long time, if ever, that we get back to how life was prior to February 1st. Here at CPM, we're recommending that you divide your plan into 3 phases. The first phase should last for the first 3 months or so once the stay-at-home orders are lifted. In this phase, you should look and be able to adapt your products or your services to ease consumers back into your company. We suggest that you concentrate on your current customers. This is an excellent time to thank them for supporting you the past month or so. And then in months 4 to 6, phase 2 would go into effect by adding elements into the first phase. This is where you would start to broaden your customer base. And then finally, just in time for the holidays, implement a complete restart plan. In each phase, remember to have a clearly defined communication strategy and encourage innovations at all times. So we've gone through things very quickly, and so I'd like to recap a bit of what we discussed. The key takeaways today are: create a plan or an audit of your current marketing efforts. Prioritize those marketing efforts. Decide if you need to pause or pivot them. Evaluate your content and visuals. Make adjustments if necessary. Rethink your messaging. What part of your business is most viable right now? Communicate to your customers in a calm, confident manner. And finally, plan for now, 4 months from now, and the start of next year. And if you've been doing your marketing in-house up to now and everything I just went over is making you feel even more anxious, there is help out there. I would suggest that you reach out to a BBB accredited ad agency that offers full services in helping businesses gain marketing exposure. You should expect them to be your partner, not an advertising vendor. They should understand your business, offer a variety of marketing opportunities, and come equipped with some creative ideas that will fit your business. So there you have it. Thanks for joining me this afternoon. And the CPM staff would like to assist you in whatever way that we can. So I'm asking you this question of you. What is the #1 problem you're facing this week? If you'd like, you can send me an email at bclark, C-L-A-R-K, at cpsandpaulmedia.com, or give me a call at 614-717-4910. I'd like to hear about your problem and to see if the CPM team can come up with any ideas for you to be of some help. Because like I said before, we're all in this together. We need to support one another. Jessica, I think we have time for a couple questions if you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a minute. Sorry, I'm so sorry for any noise in the background that sounds a little under the age of 5. One of the questions I think everybody's kind of wondering, Betty, is do you know what the general feel is out there about how long businesses think their business will be impacted?
That's a great question. Actually, a couple of days ago, I did receive a research study from Burrell and Associates, and they have an SMB business panel that they have been asking questions of every week. And so for the week of March 15th through the 20th, they asked their panel if how long they thought the impact was going to affect their business. And 42% said 1 to 4 months, and 17% said 9 to 18 months. And then 3% said my business may not make it. So at least, I mean, there seems to be a short window there that the majority of individuals that own small to medium-sized businesses feel that they're going to recover at least after 4 months.
The other thing I think people are probably thinking is, you know, it feels like nobody has any money right now, or people are very worried about the money that they're going to have. What can they do?
Do what I did. And that is, I still created a plan, and I try to think outside of the box for innovative ideas to market my company. And they should do the same. Definitely use social media to its fullest extent. You know, post as many times as I would say on Facebook, if you're doing Facebook, at least 3 times per week. And don't make it all gloom and doom.
Right.
And then also, as I said earlier, consider teaming up with another company and see if both of you are able to market together. But there are, and certainly this is no better time to buy media, local media. So if you're able to do that at all, now's the time to do that. So
great.
That's it.
Okay. Well, as I mentioned, if anybody has any questions, you can feel free to send them either directly to Betty. If you send them to through the question box, I will forward those along to Betty so she can answer those directly. And if there's anything else that we can help with, please visit trustlocal.org and fill out that survey. Contact us through our website, live chat, email. Our team is working remotely, but we are all still working. So we're here and we want to be able to help how we can. So please don't hesitate to reach out. And again, this webinar has been recorded. It will be posted on our trustlocal.org site. And there are also the other webinars that we have done there. We will have a schedule of webinars going forward. We know that people are still going to have lots of questions about a lot of different things. So please, just stay tuned on those topics and times and dates. And I want to say a great big thank you to Betty for being here with us today and for this outstanding presentation. We really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. So everybody stay safe. Thank you so much. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up and say, have a great weekend, and we'll talk with everybody later. Thank you so much.